All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Just an Introvert podcast.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for listening and returning
Yes, yes.
for episode two, our first longer episode, I guess, more in depth and kind of getting into what we'll be talking about. But again, thank you for listening in. Glad to have you.
Yes, thank you for coming back to this amazing episode two. We're going to have some structure and we totally know what we're doing now.
Exactly. Once, and then we're just like, got it.
Right,
We're
right, right.
set,
Got it down.
right? Oh my gosh. Oh,
Oh,
well, it was fun to get the first episode up there and kind of see some people's responses and listen to it myself. I didn't think about that, but listening to my own podcast, I was like, oh, this is cool. So,
it was really fun
and
of course, I
it
had to
was
listen to
fun.
it when it came out. And then I'm checking all the
Yeah.
analytics, like, oh, how many downloads did we get? And who.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I
Oh,
was like, are there reviews? Are there, like looking at all the things, but I don't have all the logins, so I only see like the public side of it, I guess. So
yeah. I
you
mean, that's
probably have
kind
more
of,
than me.
I think you have to do like a couple of episodes to really get more details. They
That's
kind of
true.
give you the basics, but
Yeah.
shout
Yeah.
out to my brother, Kirk McCall, for leaving us a review, a positive
Yes.
review. So that was
Yes.
really cool.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
The best. Oh
Oh
gosh.
gosh.
Oh. All right. So as we mentioned in our first episode, we're gonna start um our episodes with a little icebreaker. One, just
Oh,
to get to know us, some fun little questions, but also to play on the fact that icebreakers are awful and
evil.
evil. They're the worst. And I know I wish I could see the extrovert's perspective sometimes because I really think there's so much good meaning and like, oh, we'll just like learn a little bit about each other and it'll be great. But for us, it's just like, nope, nope, this is again the worst thing that could be happening. And
Hmm.
I'd rather like, here, let me just trauma dump my entire life than answer a silly, silly question. But you know,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. Feel the
So
complete same way. Yeah.
yes.
You just
So my icebreaker of choice, what was the worst haircut you had or fashion trend that you followed?
ooh. Okay, let's see
Yeah.
here. Okay, the worst haircut I was in, I think it was in fourth grade, and I told my mom I want to get my hair cut short. And I didn't know what I wanted. I just want to get it cut short. I had no style in mind. And so she took me and they cut it short and they put all these layers in. And I mean, I liked it. I was like, this is
Yeah.
cool. And then I remember I was with Kirk, my brother, your dad. We went to get ice cream from the mall, and he ran into a friend at the ice cream place. And she goes, "Oh, is this your brother?"
Oh no.
And after that, I've never had
Never
my
had
hair short since.
that is
That was it.
rough. Yikes.
And then
Yeah.
as far as fashion trend, um, I always pull out my freshman high school picture because big giant bangs were in.
Yes.
And I had some super high bangs in that picture. Now I didn't wear them high all the time, but for the picture, I really did it up.
Oh yeah.
And they are just like
Yeah.
lots of hairspray. It's like the wall of this fan of hair.
Probably like
And
knock on it and it's
oh
like
yeah,
solid. Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't moving anywhere. And that was that. And then like we used to spray our hair, the sides, so they would fan out. Like it's so weird. I think my junior high picture was like that too. I'm like, I don't know. I thought it looked
Right.
super cool, but
Oh, always in
you
the
know,
moment it works, but yeah.
yeah. So
Oh, that's
that's
funny.
mine.
Yeah. I think my worst haircut is a similar experience. Well, growing up, I feel like my mom would always trim our hair, but like very, like a half inch, just kind of the dead ends, nothing really.
Hmm.
And again, very curly hair happening here. And so we went to like a Supercuts or somewhere like that. And, um, the lady's cutting my hair. My
Uh-huh.
mom's doing something else. And I'm like, I don't know. I was probably like fourth or fifth grade. And she's like, "Oh, do you want layers?" And in my mind, layers was like sectioning the hair to trim it, which my mom always did. So I was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, sure, I want layers." It was it was rough because she cut it and it was wet. So it was like, okay, there's a little
Yeah.
shape to it. And then by the time we get home, it had dried. So it like just kept
Oh,
growing up.
oh
By the time
boy.
I woke up in the morning, it was literally like triangle head
No.
shaped. And that was, yeah, I gotta find now that the fact that we both have pictures, we have to post them
Oh,
on our
yes. I
Instagram.
was just thinking that. I'm like, I for
Um,
sure have a picture.
oh, because I think we had picture day coming up soon after, and I was so upset. I don't know if I still have that picture because I'm pretty sure I made my mom take me to do redo pictures because I was so upset about it. It was rough. And same thing, I have never had my hair short ever since because that was the triangle head era was just rough. Not good times.
And that's
Um,
when you have
Fashion
thick
trends.
hair.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
happens when the shorter your hair gets, the bigger it
Yeah.
grows. And yeah, that's the
You
other
need
reason that
the weight and the length. Yeah, otherwise
Mhm.
it's just it
Yeah,
doesn't grow down, it grows
it grows
out.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
even now, like I'll see long hair girls with long hair and it just lays super flat and mine just kind of, yeah, still grows
And
out.
as the day goes, the humidity, it just like you never know how it's gonna end up. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yep.
Worst.
That's
Oh
good.
boy.
That was a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to think fashion trends. It's been really fun. My sister is 10 years younger than me,
Uh-huh.
so seeing like I know mothers to daughters usually see their fashion trends coming back up, but starting to
Yeah.
see little things um come back. The one that I remember was when yoga pants were new, like not leggings, but the flared. They now call them, they're the flared leggings. I'm like, no, those are yoga pants and we own those.
Yeah.
Um, I had these, it was in high school. I got my first pair and they had a really thick band with whatever brand I bought them. I don't know, but they were super flared. And so when I had to wear my Ugg boots, which I still wear, I will never get rid of,
Yeah.
I had to like wrap them around and tuck them. And just the amount of work going into that was just ridiculous. But seeing that come back has been funny. But I don't know that I had anything like super embarrassing because I was so nervous to like stand out.
Yeah.
And look, like I just wore like all through high school, I think I wore a hoodie, sweatshirt, and jeans and Vans. Like I was just very boring, very basic. So the one, it is coming back. There's a good one. Junior high, bright colored pants was a thing, and I had bright pink jeans
Ooh.
paired with a zebra print belt with the studs.
Oh,
So
it's the studs. Yes.
yes, yeah, that was one. That was one that I was like, I'm gonna buy the cool outfit. And looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did that happen?
That is
But again, in the
hilarious.
moment, you're like, this is the coolest. But
Obviously. Well,
yeah,
and two, your aunt bought you such cool clothes that you didn't have a lot of,
very true.
bad choices because of that too. So
You kept me going the right
I
way, kept me
did.
on
I
trend.
did. I had your back.
Yes.
Well, that was a good
Um,
icebreaker. I like that
that
one.
was, yeah.
So we'll have to dig
Especially
up some pictures
gonna
and
say pictures to come. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Picture evidence of
Yes.
our fashion choices and trends.
Embarrassing.
Yes.
Oh shoot. Oh my gosh. I knew this was gonna happen, guys. I don't know if we'll edit this out or not because it's wonderful. Okay.
That was great. You saved that so well.
We have to keep some of that in.
We
So
do. We do.
I I have the jankiest setup possible here. And it all just fell, but I caught it. It didn't hit the ground.
It was
But
impressive. I was actually super impressed.
I
It
was
didn't
like, I'm
go.
gonna zoom in on my notes so I can read them better. And then literally everything came crashing to the ground. So we're just not gonna touch
Yeah.
that anymore. Oh
Oh,
my
that is
gosh.
hilarious.
Great.
Oh,
Okay. Anyways, moving on. You're You have a, what did you say you prepared a would you rather? That's what it was?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Cool.
So I heard this game on another podcast I listened to. It's called Fun Sexy Bible Time. And if you want to understand my humor at all, that if you listen to that podcast, that is my humor and my people. So shout out to Matthew and Casey, but they do this and it is so funny. So I'm like, okay, I got to think of some introvert things. So I was thinking of two like horrible things, and you have to choose the one you'd rather do, even though they're both awful. So, would you rather be in an elevator and have to introduce yourself to people every time they came on, and you're like in a busy like elevator, or be in a restaurant and walk up to each table and ask people what they ordered?
Oh, yikes. Oh no. Oh wow. I'm trying to think. I'm like the logical part of my brain is like, okay, how many people fit in a restaurant versus how many people fit in an elevator? Which one do I have to talk less? Oh, I feel like the restaurant would have more people, but I also feel like I could get away with that because of food. I think I would have to default to that because at least there's some structure. It's like I'm talking about something instead of just like, hello, look at me. So I
Yes.
think I would have to pick the restaurant.
I
Yeah.
think I think I would probably do that too because I can walk away. What are you having? Okay, and then walk away. Whereas an
Yes.
elevator, you
You're
introduce
trapped.
yourself and then you just have to sit there in the awkward
Yeah.
silence with the people. I think that would
Yeah.
be worse. But
Yeah.
in an elevator too, maybe not many people would get on. So I don't know. But I
Yeah.
probably would do the restaurant.
Yeah.
They're both awful though.
Yeah. I know. That's like, ugh. Yeah. Not good.
No,
Not
no,
good.
not good.
Oh, that was fun. I look forward to those. Those will be a
Yes.
fun little.
Yes, I'll have to think of some really,
Yes.
really good ones.
Yes.
But
Oh gosh. So today we wanted to kind of get an overview just about introverts in general and then kind of our general experience about being introverts. We'll definitely dive in more in depth in future episodes on like specific areas of our lives. But just kind of our, I guess, our background, our history with being an introvert. So to introduce it, I wanted to look into the idea of introverts in general and what is, I feel like we all kind of know introvert, extrovert. We hear that people pop into our head or a picture or whatever. But like the real Webster's definition, I was like, I'm curious what that is. And it was really interesting what I learned. So I looked up the definition of an introvert and it's both a noun and a verb. And the definitions I think are really interesting because the noun says a typically reserved or quiet person who tends to be introspective and enjoys spending time alone, which true, but I think that's a very like narrow-minded idea of almost like the stereotype less than like what we actually are. I think that's what we play on in our intro is we're not just shy and quiet, like there's more to it. But the verb says um to turn inward or in upon oneself, which I really liked. I feel like that is more what I think of myself, like just introspective and combining those words together made a lot of sense to me. But I just thought that was interesting. I don't know if everyone will, but I enjoyed that.
that's
Um,
really good. I like that.
yeah, yeah. And then looking into like who is the first person to define introversion or talk about it. Um, and if I'm incorrect and someone knows the right answer, just know that this was a Google/Wikipedia search. So I just got the bare minimum and called it a day. Um, but my research showed that it was first kind of talked about by Carl Jung. I think
hmm
it's pronounced
I
Jung.
think that's right. Yeah, I
I
think I've
think
heard
so.
that too.
And it was in 1909. There was like this conversation he had with a couple other people. Some of the things said Freud, some not, but just psychology type people. Were discussing, personality types. And then it was printed in his book, Personality Types, in 1923. So that was the first kind of like set in stone. So really only 100 years. Like that's kind of
Not,
like, okay, it really is overall, if you're looking at it, a newer idea or
yeah,
concept.
hasn't been around
Um,
that long, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. Like obviously we've been around forever, but the
Right.
having a name for it. So I wonder what that was like before, especially, and again, this is just rabbit trail, but especially in like the times of like high society, and you held parties and you had all these like things that you had to do to be a acceptable person or whatever. I just wonder if there was a heavier feeling of, oh, there's something wrong with me. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. But yeah, I was, and in I think he wrote an additional book. There's a few quotes that I just again thought were really cool. So I'm going to share. Bear with me as I'm reading from my phone, also trying not to collapse my entire setup. So this is just a few excerpts from a following paper that Carl Jung wrote. So this is just describing introverts. It says, in a large gathering, he feels lost and lonely. The more crowded it is, the greater becomes his resistance. He has no love of enthusiastic get-togethers. He is not a good mixer. What he does in his own way, um, which kind of felt negative, but it wrapped up in a positive light. And this is the quote that I really, really noticed was, his relations with other people become warm only when safety is guaranteed and when he can lay aside his defensive distrust. All too often, he cannot, and consequently, the number of friends and acquaintances is very restricted.
Mm,
And that was just like, okay, like that is, I loved that. Just like once your guard is down and you're like in a secure place, then you're good. But
yes, I can relate
that
to
was just
that.
kind of my little mini deep dive into introvert. So
Love that. That's a good,
yeah,
like, just foundation of
yeah,
just kind of the overview of it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I listened to the book Quiet. Let me look at the whole title here. It's the book I originally read, I want to say like 10 years ago. I was on a library kick where I was just getting library book after library book. And I saw this one. It wasn't really recommended. I just went, oh, introverts, cool. Let's read about that. And it's called Quiet: The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan
Mhm.
Cain. And wow, it just opened my whole world. Like it just changed everything about my understanding of introverts and validating the feelings I've felt my entire life. Um, so I have, lots of notes on that, which I won't necessarily share all of them today, but I do want to get into, I think the biggest thing, introverts are always spoken of as shy,
Mm.
and they're not always shy. And I got like the difference between shyness and introversion.
Mhm.
So in the book, they talk about shyness is the fear of social disapproval or humiliation. And introversion is a preference for environments that are not overstimulating.
Mm.
So if
Oh.
you're in a group, so like a shy person, they'll be afraid to speak up because they're just afraid of what people will think. They'll be just afraid of how they look. Whereas an introvert might not speak up because they're just overstimulated. There's
Mm.
so much conversation. They don't want to jump in. And so they are quiet. But people look at that and go, oh, well, they don't want to speak out, but they don't realize that it's overstimulation.
Yeah.
And I kind of was thinking about myself and um, like, doing TikTok videos and stuff.
Mhm.
Like I don't have a lot of stimulation. It's just me or, somebody else. But if I had to do in front of a big crowd, that's too much. I just can't. It just, I don't know. Like it's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel safe anymore.
Right.
And
That sense of
so
security. Yeah.
yes, yes. And so one thing is introverts are seen as, a lot of introverts become shy because they receive the message that there's something wrong with their preference for reflection. So, because of how introversion is seen, that it's not a positive thing or a good thing, then a lot of times introverts will kind of fall into that shy category, and because they think they get their message that there's something wrong with their preference for reflection. So I thought that was interesting. And then let's see, introverts are geared to inspect. So they get into a situation and they have to just take it in and inspect. Whereas like extroverts are geared to respond. They come in
Mm.
and they instantly respond to something, where the introverts are quiet, not because that they don't want to participate, but they just need that time to kind of take in their surroundings and
Yeah.
kind of get to,
Process things.
yeah. So I thought that was interesting, as far as the shyness and stuff. And there's so
Yeah.
much from this book, but that's just a little overview. And I was really excited to listen to it again. I kept like pausing it and typing stuff in my notes and then pausing it and like, oh yes, 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 so good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that I got, those are little nuggets I got from that. And like I said, I
Yeah.
have lots more, but we'll share those as we get into
Sprinkle
more
those in.
episodes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Totally. Yep.
Very cool. I love
Yeah.
that. I know if I get my life together and choose to read another book, maybe it's that
That
one.
one. Well,
Poor
if you,
Amy wanted me to read and would be like all the books. Like I'll never forget. I don't remember if it was Hunger Games or Twilight. You lent to me. You're like, hey, I was like, oh yeah, I want to read it. And like every couple months, you're like, hey, can I have that back? Someone else wants to borrow it. So you would lend it to someone else. They would read it, and then I would get it back. I don't even know if I
I'm,
finished it, but
that's so
maybe I'll
funny.
try the audiobook. That
You
might be an
should.
easier option.
If you have Spotify,
Yep.
premium, you
Okay.
get 15 hours free a month on
Oh,
audiobooks.
good to know.
Now I found out this week that only the family manager, which I am, gets that
Ah,
privilege,
yes.
because Niles was looking for something. He's like, it just shows me a charge. And I'm like, I looked it up. I go, oh, I guess I'm the only one that can do it.
Yes. Privileges for being
I know, exactly.
the manager of the account.
Right. But yeah, you should for sure, you should listen to
Yeah.
it. It's a good listen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of wanted to take that broad overview of introversion and then apply it just kind of again in a general sense to us. So I'll have you kind of start off, Amy. What like when I know you kind of mentioned when you read the book, but when did you kind of learn about being an introvert? Less about what an introvert is, but more, I guess, if there's a moment or anything that made you realize like, oh, I'm an introvert. This is me.
I think just I was reflecting on growing up, like elementary school age. Um, I was, I was more quiet in social situations. Like at home, I'm sure my mom would say, you were silly and do videos and
Oh,
stuff. But in school, I would kind of be kind of the rule follower, quiet. I enjoyed small groups of friends. Um, I loved to like play by myself. Like it was really big to go to Roller King in my day. And what I would do is in our garage, I would turn on music and then I would skate in a circle like I was at Roller King, and I would just get lost in the music. And like that
oh,
was like my thing. I loved like being by myself doing that. I was always kind of nervous to talk to adults. Just wasn't a comfortable thing. Um, I had my best friend was an extrovert. Her name's Kimberly. So if you're listening, Kimberly, shout out. But I realized I really liked it because she would make decisions, she would take initiative, and what we're going to do, and I could follow her lead. And so I kind of got a sense that, I don't know if I knew the word introvert, but just a sense that I was just kind of a follower, quiet, like small groups. And then probably when we would get into high school ages, when there was like these personality tests out there, and I think the first one I heard about was these four, sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic, and melancholy. And I can't remember. I think in the Quiet book, they talked about that even coming from like Plato or Socrates. I
yeah.
could be totally wrong, but anyway, that was like, and they all had meanings associated with the words. So I kind of learned about it then. I was trying to figure out what I was, but because I feel like society really gears you to be an extrovert, and this is like, you're here, but you need to be here. You need to be able to public speak and do
Mhm.
all this stuff. So I remember one time there was like a personality test. I don't know if I was taking it for fun or if it was through school. And I remember one of the questions saying, you're the life of the party. And
Mm,
I circled that one, knowing it was totally
mm,
not true, but I'm like, but that's what I need to aspire to be. So
yeah.
I'm going to circle it kind of to
Mm,
will it into happening.
yeah.
But yeah, like, I was thinking, reflecting back to high school, I, was in the band, and that was kind of my safe little space, the band room. Like, I don't even remember doing anything outside that school. Obviously, I went to classes, but I always retreated back to the band room with my close family. And I was kind of a safe space for me. And then when a lot of my friends graduated who were older than me, they were Niles's age. By my senior year, I was like had no friends. I mean, I'm sure I
Yeah.
had, but not anybody I would like do stuff with. So I kind of
Oh,
kept to myself. And I remember going on my senior trip, and I was like, who do I hang out with?
yeah. Yeah.
I don't. And so I just kind of tagged along to some people, but anyway, so that's kind of, I kind of got the feeling that that's what I was, even though I didn't totally understand the whole, you know, wording of it and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's a
Yeah.
that's a general overview. I'm sure I have a lot more to add in later, but
Yeah.
okay, so that was my recollection of kind of, how I came to know that I was an introvert. I didn't know if I knew the word, but anyway, how about you?
I, yeah, I feel like I always knew what an introvert was and what that meant, partially just between you, being in my life and then my dad, um, being an introvert. And by the way, this is a little shout out slash correction, sassing my dad because he sassed me. Last week, I made the comment, I was talking about like the mother-daughter dynamic between me and my mom and you and your daughter, saying like, oh, I'm the daughter of an extrovert. But I stumbled through my words and said, oh, I'm the daughter of an introvert. I mean, the daughter of an extrovert. And so my dad's comment was, you are also the daughter of an introvert. So shout out to my dad. I am the daughter of an introvert. So
So
correction
very true.
made. No, he didn't care. He just wanted to mess with me. So I thought I'd give it
Well,
right back to him.
well, in
Um,
that if he in that case, he has to be a guest on the show now. So
yep, locked in.
locked in.
Kirk, we're coming for you.
Yep.
And then yeah, both of you guys were definitely introverts and well aware of that. And like that was just like a discussion. And then your mom as well,
Yes. Yes.
my
My mom
grandma.
is. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And I know I don't know if she read that quiet book before or after you. But I remember talking to her once and she said she had read that book and that was like a huge revelation. Especially, her being the generation before. I think it was probably even
Hmm.
less of a known popular thing. So that was a big light bulb for her. And just again, so having a lot of introverts in my life and then having my mom who's very extroverted, like I saw that stark difference and could see like I definitely kind of fall more on this side of things.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think I was always aware of it. Like my brain knew, but I do think there was a lot of kind of like what you said, the emotions and the I should correct these things and be an extrovert and be more extroverted. Like that's the positive thing. So I think that played into a lot. And for me, a huge part of processing that I've done more recently is separating my introversion and my anxiety, specifically like my social anxiety.
Hmm.
Because that I was not aware of until after I had kids. I'm sure we'll go into all of this, but I
Yeah.
definitely postpartum anxiety hit me really hard.
Yeah.
And processing like, oh, hey, this is anxiety. And I've had this for a very long time. But I think it was masked by being an introvert. So I think I saw those things as one thing, just like part of my personality. So looking back, I can see things and kind of separate like, oh, what was me just being introverted and like, oh, that was my anxiety. So yeah, I think I wove those two together, and it's interesting that that definition that you gave from the quiet book, shy versus introvert. I'm like, oh, I hold both of those. Like I definitely can see both sides of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, I think growing up, especially growing up in a smaller school, kind of a different experience than you had. You were in a bigger public school. I was in a small private school. Like I graduated one of 53, and our whole high school had like 200 people. So there was no just blending in and being in the background. Like everyone knew everyone's business. My parents were teachers. My dad taught at the high school I was at. So it just was like, again, there was no chance to just like fade into the background. And so I felt like I was always being pushed one way or the other into this, again, ideal, like be outgoing and do all this stuff. And it just exhausted me. And again, looking back in a different light, I can see the times that I'm like, oh, I would just come home. I was miserable. I was so tapped out and overstimulated and just done. And I had nothing left. And I'm like, I just need to go lay in bed and watch Netflix. And that's all I have energy for. And in the moment, I'm like, oh, this is horrible. I'm just this lazy, mean person. Like I had all these negative views of myself, which is so
Mm-hmm.
sad to look back at. But again,
Yeah.
I didn't understand it, but it was also again masked by this, well, I'm just introverted. This is just who I am. And I definitely had, similar to you, a lot of extroverted friends, which was nice. In some
Mm-hmm.
things, you're like, cool, they're gonna, we're sitting at lunch and I got the wrong food, and I'm not gonna say anything, but you'll do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I definitely find myself drawn to extroverts at times. Just it's a good pair, like
Yes,
we complement each other well, and I think there's a natural kind of gravitation towards that. Um, yeah, so
definitely.
I think that's kind of my biggest takeaway from just growing up, and again, awareness of what being an introvert was. And I was always very into, I don't know if it's an introvert thing or just whatever, like personality tests. And I
Yeah.
loved anytime, like way back in magazines when you'd circle, how many, and like how many answer A or B or C, and this is what you are. I loved that. I loved learning about myself,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is that introspective part of that.
Yeah.
Um, and in my first or second year of college, we had our like basic psychology course, and we talked about the Myers-Briggs. And
Mm-hmm.
that I loved that. Me and all of my friends at the time, we all like, okay, what are we, and how, like, who's compatible, and like, okay, it was really fun. So I think that that's always been a part of like wanting to learn more about it. And now again, separating anxiety and introversion has been a big part of that. But yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
my deal. Yeah.
I didn't think about, how going to a big high school, I really could hide.
Yeah.
And with you, such a smaller school, you can't hide as well. And
No,
so
not at
that
all.
is quite a different dynamic.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's sad that we had to feel like there was something wrong with us.
Hmm.
And that's what
Hmm.
this book really taught me was there's nothing wrong. There's both in the world. In fact, a third to a half of people in the world
Yeah.
are introverts. So
Yep.
not everybody's an extrovert, but
Right.
that's just in our culture in the United States, it's just that's what's really pushed. And she
Hmm.
has a whole history on how that even, got to be where it is. But
Yeah.
it just helped validate a lot of feelings that I go, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. Oh, this is, we need each other with
Yes.
extroverts. And so, and how you said we're drawn to extroverts. I have a whole bunch of things to talk about that. We'll save
Yeah.
that for another episode, but it's really interesting how we do complement each other really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, awesome,
Very cool.
cool.
Love it. Okay. So, you had a great idea on how to like kind of wrap things up again with like a little more fluff, which I love. Again, it'll just kind of let you guys get to know us. Um, our awkward moment of the week. So, or however long in between 2 weeks. Um, so I'm gonna let you share your most recent awkward moment.
Okay, well, I have two. I'm
Awesome.
lucky. So my first one, and maybe this is not awkward for anybody else, but for me, it's very awkward. So I went to Marshall's and I was trying things on. I went into the dressing room with a bunch of jeans. This is in the market to buy some more jeans. And I came out, I had kept some, gave some away. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna get. And then immediately I looked on the rack and found another pair I wanted to try on. And then I was like, oh, I gotta go back in. And I feel so awkward. Like I have to say, here I am. And it's like she
Yes.
probably doesn't even isn't even interested
Didn't
enough to
register.
go like you were just in here, but I feel like I have to say why I just came back in here. Like that's just not a normal thing. So I was like, "Okay, that's why do I have to feel like I have to fill that space of silence? I can just put it on the rack and get my number." So anyway, I felt dumb. And
Right.
then
Right.
that was going to be mine, which, that's my first one. And then I went to a movie with my daughter Friday night, and I
Yeah.
was walking out of the bathroom trying to get back in a hurry. And I waited till I was passing someone right next to them. And then I just like tripped over my own foot in the carpet. I didn't fall, but
Mhm.
had to do it like right next to the person. And
Of
it's like,
course.
wow, I didn't even trip over anything. I just like can't walk
Yeah.
on carpet. So I just
Yep.
sat and thought about that. And I'm sure that person didn't even wasn't even paying attention. It's funny how you think everybody's looking at you, but they don't
Yes.
care about you. They care
No.
about themselves.
Right.
So
Right.
those two
Oh,
were
I
my
love it.
awkward moments. How about you?
I love it. Oh, so yeah, mine was at work. And it was totally like same thing. In my mind, I probably made this into more than it really was. So at the desk I sit at, I have my computer background, a picture of my family, me and my husband and our two kids. And so someone came up and was like, "Oh, like people will see it and be like, oh, are those your kids?" And it's kind of nice to have that up. I love
Uh-huh.
showing off my kids. And she she comes up, and again, she meant nothing bad by it, but it was one of those situations where I'm like, there is no response to this, which is like my nightmare when I'm like, okay, how do I respond like a normal person? But I don't know what to say. So she is looking at the picture and she's like, oh, you know how people say that, people start to look like their dogs. People start to look like their spouses too, which I'm like, I don't think anyone says that. And then she makes the comment that my husband and I look alike. And I'm like, I don't, I don't know what to say to you in this
Um,
moment because
what
like
do you say?
we're both standard looking white people. Like, yes,
Yeah.
we look similar. Um, and then she made like a brief comment about like, oh, it's not like you're related or anything. And I'm like, oh, we're not. She's like, oh
Right.
yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, that is
I'm like,
awkward.
so uncomfortable. Again, I'm like, I feel the need to defend like I'm not related to my husband, but also, is it weird that I'm defending? You're overthinking, but it was just one of those like, okay. Yeah.
You
So that was
and then if you really were quick on your feet and you didn't get embarrassed, you could be like, well, we're only first cousins or something like that.
But again, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, that'd be hilarious. But in reality,
Oh
there's
no.
no way I could.
Oh no,
I
no.
no,
I know.
no.
That would be like, and then how you don't know how other person's going to take that, and then that's
Yes,
just yeah.
yes.
It's
And again, the different levels, kind of what we talked about earlier. The like once that guard is down, and what I could joke about with someone that I knew versus like someone that
yes.
I'm just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
So she's probably gonna be like, oh, it's that weird nurse that might be related to her husband. So
That's right.
there, there's that.
Oh my goodness,
Oh
that is a
boy.
good one. Yep. I can
Yes.
relate. I can relate
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep. Social, just like I want to melt under my desk.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. Oh, awesome. And then we just wanted to wrap up with a little recommendation, things that we've been into, whether it's food or TV, movies, books, whatever, just kind of something that stood out, um, something that we would recommend. So let's hear it. What's your recommendation, Amy?
Well, I think for this very first recommendation segment, I have to recommend the book Quiet by Susan Cain. Let me look at the whole title again. It's a whole
And we'll link
thing.
these in our
Yes.
show notes.
Yes.
We will, once we figure out how to do it,
Yes. If we speak it, when I re-listen to it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I gotta link that.
gotta put that in there. So
So it's called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. So I highly recommend that book. And then a TV show I'm watching right now, which like I'm late to the game, but I'm watching Dance Moms and I am obsessed. Like I can't stop
classic
watching
trash
it.
TV. I love it.
Yeah. Like I'm equally horrified by the
Yeah.
way that teacher treats those poor girls. And then equally, like, I got to see what happens next. I can't stop
Yeah.
watching. So, and I know people are like, you haven't watched that. I'm like, no, I haven't, but I'm watching it now. So,
I
anyway,
can't say that I've sat down and watched it. I've seen all like the highlights on TikTok, like the
yeah.
really famous moments and
Hmm.
yeah. And didn't they just have like a reunion? I thought I
Yeah,
saw.
they're
So
having one in May, which is
okay,
like I'm like, okay, I got to get through all these seasons
get them.
because now
Yeah.
now I'm totally into it. And it's funny how I got to the show. Like I've been listening to discographies of different female artists, and
Mhm.
finished listening to Sia, and I was watching a few of her videos, and I saw this girl dancing on there, and I was just fascinated because it's the same girl dancing in a few of her videos. And then I heard, oh, well, she approached her. She's on Dance Moms. Her name's Maddie. Um, and so I went, oh, well, now I'm curious to check out Dance
See what
Moms.
that's all about. Yeah.
So that's what led me to that. So
Nice.
anyway, how about you?
Nice. Oh, so mine, I have been in like a movie and show watching kick. So
Hmm.
since it's like award season, I love all the award shows. I absolutely
Hmm.
love. I want to be a place in my life where I can have like Oscar viewing parties and make it all fancy and
Uh-huh.
but for now I'm just like catching the highlights. But I think it was the Emmys. I kept hearing about the show Beef
Oh,
over and
yes.
over again. And I was like, I know nothing about this, which was so exciting because it's so rare that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch this show or movie and have no context about what it's about. I'm like, it's called Beef. Is it about cooking? I don't know. Have you seen it?
I have.
Oh my gosh. I was just
So
blown
good.
away. It was so, oh, just the way that they did the show. And my brief synopsis would be, um, again, without giving it too much away because I want everyone to have the same experience as I did.
Yeah.
It starts with a random interaction between two strangers that just ends up completely changing and derailing their life for the upcoming future. But yeah, I was so impressed. I just loved I felt like the story they told, they could have told in such a boring way, but the way they did it was what was so impressive. Just weaving everything together and yeah, so I have been just telling everyone about that. So I was like, that's
Yeah.
gonna be my
Each
my
episode, like
recommendation.
it would
Yeah.
end, and I was like, what? Like it was
Yeah,
just crazy. And yeah, they really
totally.
wove it together really well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was really impressed by that show too.
Yeah. And I loved seeing Ali Wong in a more dramatic role
Mm-hmm.
because I've watched a lot of her comedy and especially her stuff about pregnancy and motherhood is so perfect. And then I
Yeah.
saw her in Always Be My Maybe and I loved that. So like more of a comedy, but then seeing that she was in and that was kind of my draw to it too. I'm like, oh, she's so, and I'm like, oh, this must be like comedy romance. So just seeing a whole nother side of her was amazing. So
That's
yes,
super cool. And I like going into a show not knowing much about it, because then
yes,
you're just like kind of blown away. You don't have all these
yeah,
like
yeah.
preconceived notions. It just kind of,
And again, I feel like that rarely happens for me. I feel like I hear stuff or see stuff and I kind of know, oh, this is what it's about. But just to be
hmm.
totally blown away was so cool. So
Right, right.
yeah,
Super cool. Awesome.
yeah. All right.
All
Well, I
right.
think that's all we have for you guys.
Yeah.
Again, thanks for getting through this episode and coming back for more. I look forward to kind of as we get into things. I have posted some stuff on our Instagram. There is a highlight of questions. You can just throw a question in there. It can be stuff you want us to talk about on the podcast, stuff about us. We've had some really fun ones in there.
Hmm.
And both Amy and I have the Instagram login, so we'll both answer, if it's one that we can both answer or whatever. So feel free to drop stuff in there, or you can, always email, reach out through social media. But yeah, we're here and we're excited to keep doing this.
Yes, and shout out to Ben for being the only one answering our poll of the
I
fuzzy or no fuzzy
Yes, I
for the
love it. My
microphone.
dad, my dad is the only written review and my brother was the only response. So
So shout out
thanks, Ben.
to my nephew Ben and my brother Kirk. So yeah.
Love it.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, so we're excited to share this episode with you,
Yeah.
and we're looking forward to hopefully you'll return and keep joining us, and we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. See you
Yeah.
next time,
All
guys.
right, see ya.